Live from the Quip in Rotterdam. I'm Matt Blackburn, where the World Cup countdown is no longer distant, theoretical or polite. The Netherlands against Algeria, two nations heading to North America in a few days' time, two nations trying to sharpen very different tournament identities, and one friendly that feels less like an exhibition and more like a final rehearsal. The Netherlands want to leave home with rhythm, confidence and a sense that Koeman's squad is ready for Japan, Sweden and Tunisia. Algeria, well, they want to show that their return to the World Cup after 12 years is built on more than nostalgia and just raw talent. For the Netherlands, ambition is enormous because of history demands it. 3 World Cup finals, no trophies, and a coach in Ronald Koeman who has set an ambitious tone around the campaign. There are the big names here, Van Dijk, De Jong, Memphis and Gakpo, but there are also questions around fitness, form and absences, with Xavi Simons, De Ligt, De Vrij and Frimpong all missing from this squad. Tonight, though, is just about how they can control clarity and making the Quip feel like a proper send-off. For Algeria, this is a test of whether Vladimir Petkovic can turn promise into something tournament-ready. Riyad Mahrez remains the creative reference point despite moving to Saudi Arabia, and Mohamed Ouar brings pace and directness. Rayan Aït-Nouri gives them modern full-back thrust, and Bentaleb returns with the memory of the 2014 World Cup experience. But Algeria's recent story has been one of gifts and gaps. Attacking quality, yes, but also questions about cohesion, defensive security and pressures of big tournament moments. Ronald Koeman, who was part of the Netherlands side that won the Euros in 1988, sets his squad up for this friendly fixture as the squads make their way out from the tunnel in a 4-3-3 formation. Verbruggen is the man in goal. Wiever, Van Heck, Van Dijk and Van de Ven are the back four, with 3 of those in Verbruggen, Wiever and Van Heck all playing with each other at Brighton and Hove Albion. Gravenbach, Reinders and De Jong are the midfield 3, with Reinders starting Season 1, Episode 1 on his Twitter account after the first game of the season, but he's yet to really show Episode 2, and hopefully he will be wanting the World Cup to be that next instalment of his series. And Somerville, Malen and Gakpo are the front 3, the West Ham, Roma and Liverpool front men, with Gakpo 19 goals in 48 international games. A bench that's filled with quality for the Netherlands: Gertruda, De Roon, Ake, Kluivert, Weghorst, Depay, Roos, Till, Lang, Broby, Koop, Miners, Matson, Flecken, Hatto and Quinton Timber on the bench for this friendly this afternoon. Algeria head coach Vladimir Petkovic says that he wants his side to take on the preparations as best they can to lead into the first game and then take it each game step by step. And in a game which will test them before they travel to North America, they line up in a 4-5-1 formation with Luka Zidane, that is the son of Zinedine Zidane, in goal. Decided to go with Algeria rather than France. Abada, Mandi, Belaid and Aït-Nouri the back 4. Mahrez, the man who has been the powerhouse for Algeria for a number of years, 113 appearances he's made for the national side, just 3 behind Aïssi Mandi, the Lille man at the back. Starts on the right. Zerouki, Bentaleb, Ouar and Amora are the midfield 5, and Gouiri is the man up top on his own. A bench as well filled with players that will likely come on as the game goes on, as Petkovic tries to find the side that will start in the World Cup. Mastil, Tugai, Chaibi, Moussa, Ben Bouali, Hadjam, Boudoui, Ben Bot, Belgali, Bulbini, Ben Sabani, Mazak, Titraoui, Gedzemis and Chergui are the men on the bench for this Algeria side here in Rotterdam. We're going through the national anthems just before the start of this game. The Netherlands side is currently going through theirs after Algeria have been through their national anthem, both going to the World Cup. The referee won't be at the World Cup, the Austrian Jakub Semier, and he's assisted by Martin Hoffler and Alexander Baruki, also from Austria, on the lines. The fourth official, Christian Petru Siochika, and VAR is Alan Kihas as well. Also from Austria, assisted by Joseph Spurney for this fixture. We won't hopefully need too much VAR in a friendly game, but we'll have to wait and see, as friendlies can pull out some unpredictable results. For the Netherlands, well, they're unbeaten in their last 10 games coming into this one, as they've just gone through their final. Their national anthem with the Tifo away to our left, showing the trophies that this side has won over the years, with a small gap for a World Cup that they are missing. The 3 finals they have made previously have all ended in defeat, including that one to Spain back in 2010, and then the 2 back-to-back runners-up medals in 1974 and 1978. They're on an excellent run, despite the draws against Poland in the World Cup qualifiers, the 2 1-1 draws. They came out winning every other game. Their last defeat coming on penalties to Spain in the Nations League back in March, after 2 draws of a 2-2 and a 3-3 in their last international tournament, ending in that 2-1 defeat to England in the semi-final of the Euros in 2024. But we also know that England don't seem to do too well when they get to the final of the Euros, especially over the last 2 iterations at least. For Algeria, well, they're in equally good form. Just 2 defeats in 17 games for them, with the losses coming in the Arab Cup against the UAE and against Nigeria 2-0 in the African Cup of Nations earlier on in the year. They're on an excellent run, and they'll hope that they can just take things step by step. That's what Petkovic, the manager, has tried to instill in his side. We are moments away from kick-off. It took a little bit of time for the players to just make their way out and go through the pre-game formalities, but we are moments away from what will be an excellent game. The Netherlands in their very traditional bright orange, and the crowd here also in that orange strip. The orange shirt, black shorts and orange socks for the home side, and for the away side they're in all white. Luka Zidane is in goal. He's got that face mask on, away to our right hand side. But the Netherlands in what is a very fluorescent bright orange that they are wearing this evening, go through their huddle in the middle. Algeria going through theirs as well. I'll keep up to date with other scores that are going to happen around the grounds this evening. The only other international friendly, two other international friendlies are kicking off at the same time as Poland and Nigeria. Neither of those sides will be at the World Cup in the next week or so, and neither will Luxembourg or Italy, who were almost given a place because of the war between the USA and Iran. Haiti pulled out a wonderful result against New Zealand last night, which will give them some confidence going into the tournament. And there's also a couple of games going on as well, with DR Congo and Denmark drawing 0-0 at half-time, and Gibraltar beating British Virgin Islands within the 90th minute by 4-0. As the Netherlands get the game underway, it's 8:48 local time, and those in orange send it down the left-hand channel early. The Netherlands, they'll be hoping that their time in the World Cup will be a little bit better. They've got Japan on the 14th, Sweden on the 20th, before turning their attention to the last game against Tunisia. And they are all games that Netherlands will be expected to win. And with the new format of the World Cup, with 8 of the 12 sides finishing in third place, going through to the knockout rounds, they will be very, very disappointed. I can't quite see there being too much fallout from the group stages, in particular likes of Germany being knocked out when South Korea scored late against them a couple of years ago. Those types of events may not happen, but if they do, it will be real shocks as Algeria try and get down the left-hand side. They're going to win a free kick over on the far touchline, about 15 yards off the left-hand corner of the area, and the first attacking opportunity for those in white as Petrovic comes out of his dugout and just gives a couple of instructions early doors. They qualified unbeaten, the Netherlands. They topped their qualifying group. For Algeria, it's their first World Cup appearance since 2014, when they got to the round of 16. And they pushed Germany almost all the way losing in extra time. They've got 5 here inside the penalty area. Back 7 line for the Netherlands. Sat on the penalty spot. It goes short instead. Tried to be whipped in towards the penalty spot, but cleared out by that back 7. Van Dijk with the follow-up header. It goes higher than Bob Marley, but not too far. And it's picked up by Algeria 10 yards inside the Netherlands half, away to our right-hand side. Algeria going from left to right, and you will therefore surmise that the Netherlands are going from right to left here on home soil. A number of sides have already made their way across to the North American continent over the last couple of days or so. I did see a tweet from the Italian Federation wishing their players luck on their travels, to which plenty of the comments were asking them exactly where they were going to go, and one of those is to Luxembourg, not too far, for a friendly game. There's disappointment for them for 3 consecutive World Cups that they haven't been in the side. Donnarumma, who could well make over 100 appearances before making a World Cup appearance. But down the right-hand side is Mahrez, just trying to drive it towards the byline, tries to whip it back across, and it's a good header cleared off the near front post, but picked up once more on this near side by Mahrez, and tries to just whip it with the outside of his left boot with a little bit of support from Bentaleb, but couldn't quite get the angle right. It goes out for a goal kick to Algeria, and Lucas Zidane will get his first touch of the ball. It's 3 minutes gone into this game. Lucas Zidane in his 7th appearance for the national side, the man who plays for Granada on the domestic stage. He chose Nigeria over family heritage after representing France at youth level. And the other goal taking the goal kick is the Brighton and Hove Albion man, Bart Verbruggen. His 28th appearance. He's going to be first choice for the World Cup, you would expect. He wears the number 1, and he's had an excellent season as Brighton have just been slowly pushing themselves up the top flight of the English League. They will be a little bit disappointed at their nearest and dearest rivals, Crystal Palace, who they tended to be a little bit better than over the last couple of years. They've gone and won 3 trophies in the space of a year. The Netherlands have it over on the right-hand side, just trying to work it towards the right corner of the area and just slowing the game down, just bringing it back nicely in towards De Jong. Pushes it across towards the right-hand side to bring Vijver into play. Can't quite find the pass down towards Somerville on that right-hand channel. The West Ham man, former Leeds United, who he came through, they developed him. He gives them plenty of direct one-on-one options over on that far side, trying to offer a little bit of support as the throw-in's taken, but brought back towards the halfway line. Inside the centre circle with Van Dijk. His first touch just pushes it a little bit too far in front and just has to come away to the left-hand side, and it'll be penny for his thoughts. Konate has left Liverpool over the last couple of games. Driving down the left-hand side is Gakpo, just trying to take on his man, but just does a little bit too much, and Abada stays with him as it trickles out for a goal kick. 5 minutes gone then in this friendly game. As I say, I'll keep you up to date with some of the other score lines that will go in this evening. Last night we mentioned Haiti earlier on and the quality that they showed against New Zealand in that friendly game. There's certainly a side that was expected to do pretty poorly. New Zealand always tend to have a very difficult World Cup. They normally are the smallest side, or can be one of the smallest sides in the competition. And I do remember in the 2014 World Cup, they were the only side to go unbeaten after they drew all 3 games. But last night, host Canada, who get their campaign underway against Bosnia and Herzegovina next week. They beat Uzbekistan 2-0. Belgium beat Croatia by 2-0. Wales drew with Ghana, and Colombia pulling out a 3-1 win against Costa Rica as well last night. Morocco also beating Madagascar by 4-0. The side who, with an asterisk next to their name, are the African Cup of Nations champions, but I think any neutral fan still acknowledges Senegal to be the winner of the African Cup of Nations this year. We'll wait for CAS to decide on whether the decision from AFCON will be overturned. The same referee that was involved in that game Al Nabi, he was also involved in the African Champions League final first leg between Mamelodi Sundowns and Rabat, in which VAR broke at half-time, and it took 22 minutes for the second half to get underway. He just can't seem to get a break on the big stage, but there's a break down the right-hand side with Mahrez just trying to stretch his legs, but he doesn't quite have the pace he did once have, and it just runs out ahead of him. And the Algeria captain, who just trying to stretch his legs, fails to get hold of the ball. The man who's now at Al Ahly, the former Manchester City Premier League winner as well with Leicester City, won the African Cup of Nations in 2019 with this Algeria side, and he's still very much the creative symbol of the Algeria national team. But it's the Netherlands on the ball inside their own half. It's just pulled back in towards the middle towards Van Heck, who has to get across towards the ball quickly because Algeria trying to close it down, but the space just opens up on the right hand side for the Netherlands to try to attack. Play towards the edge of there, the shot comes in and it's off the post and cleared out, and it was an excellent attempt from Malen right down the heart. It was rather simple for the Netherlands. Van Heck picked it up, he just strode forward from the loose pass. It didn't seem like it was going to go towards him, then just laid it in towards the middle. A lovely little run from the Man City man Reinders, played down towards Gravenbach, lovely dink in towards the edge of the area, right in the middle, and it's Malan who just tried to tuck it into the bottom right hand corner of Luka Zidane's goal. The keeper was absolutely nowhere near it as it just bounces off the post, and then Algeria able to clear the lines and winning a goal kick to boot as well. But the Netherlands showing the quality they can have out of absolutely nowhere. They've got plenty of players and quality on the bench as well. Do the Netherlands, their last game was against Ecuador. A 1-1 draw in that one, despite being down to 10 men. Dumfries sent off 9 minutes after Pacho scored an own goal. Valencia equaliser. Ecuador will be quite an interesting side during this World Cup. During the qualifiers, their defence was absolutely outstanding. They barely gave an inch, they barely gave a mile to anyone at all. They conceded just 5 goals in 18 games, finishing second behind Argentina, 9 points behind Argentina, on the same points in fact as, just 1 point ahead of Paraguay, who finished in 6th place. A really tight contest in the CONMEBOL qualification outside of Argentina, but they only scored 14 goals as well. They didn't provide too much excitement in their qualification, but that defence could really prove to be a very, very tricky opponent during this World Cup. Here come the Netherlands down the right-hand side, and it's just given away, and it was almost a perfect opportunity for Gravenbach down the right, but it's now one on the left-hand side for the Netherlands with Gakpo. Tries to loft it towards the far side. Lovely ball across, and it's tucked away, but the linesman's flag goes up on the far side, and it's rolled out for Reinders, but it was a good ball from Somerville, just sending it back where it came from, across that corridor of uncertainty, and Reinders stayed with him. It was won beautifully on the edge of the area, moved back across to Gakpo, floated across towards the far side of the box where Somerville was. He looks to be about a couple of inches offside, not too much, but he held his run almost perfectly. And Reinders coming in at the far post, tucking it away, but the goal ruled out for offside. But in these opening 10 minutes, it has been the Netherlands who are showing their quality. And after Malen hit the post moments ago from the edge of the box, Reinders with a goal ruled out. And now Algeria tried to attack over on the far side of the pitch, breaking in towards the Netherlands half, just working off the left-hand corner of the penalty area, but forced to retreat back towards the halfway line and then back inside their own half under pressure, with Bentaleb being chased down, as is Mandy. Away to our left-hand side with Malen closing him down. Just pushed it across towards Beladen and Nouri, the Man City man, who has been excellent this season for the side who finished second in the Premier League, but were the most successful English club during last season, winning both domestic cups with the League Cup and the FA Cup. The next was Crystal Palace, who won the Conference League and the Community Shield as well. Then you would say it is to toss up between whether Arsenal's Premier League and Chelsea's Club World Cup is next in line. You probably just have to about give it to Arsenal on that occasion. And then also Aston Villa with the Europa League and plenty of sides winning tournaments. But if you ever listen to an Arsenal fan, you would have thought they won the Champions League last week. But not to be for them, as the French side PSG walking away with it and giving Dembele another strange shot at the Ballon d'Or, depending on how France are going to do in the summer. Although, personally, completely disagree with him winning it. He's played less than 15 domestic games this season, and that really isn't enough, despite your side winning the tournament. And he scored a penalty goal in that. I might be biased being an Englishman, that Harry Kane certainly should be winning the Ballon d'Or regardless. You go off who is the best player rather than who are the best teams. And Harry Kane with his 71 goals and assists for Bayern Munich this season are better than anything that anyone's even come close to during this campaign. But here's the Netherlands, 13 minutes gone, just trying to work it down the left-hand channel. It's nicely played in towards Gakpo, who just turns his man now, drives towards the byline, leaves Abada for dead, but Abada does manage to get back up and has a little bit of support as well. Inouar done really well though and brings it back towards the halfway line in towards Van Dijk, just trying to shift it across from left to right and works it nicely in towards Wefer. Back in towards Van Heck, the Brighton man. His teammate sends it across towards the left-hand side, looking towards Gakpo, but there's Abada just to get ahead of him and just gets enough to send it out for a throwing down on this near left touchline. As Algeria are attacking level with the edge of the as Netherlands are attacking level with the edge of the Algeria penalty area, taken quickly and brought back in towards this near side. Play back into Van de Ven, looks up and has a little bit of support. Tries to whip it in towards the 6-yard box, but it's dealt with really comfortably by the Algeria defence, as Gravenberch was the man that was coming across, and he's raced out to try and get on with that throw in ever so quickly on this near side, just in front of the Algerian manager Petkovic. Before this game was saying that he wanted his side just to take the World Cup step by step. They know they're likely not going to win it. They wouldn't put too much money on them having a chance to win it, but they can try and get to the round of 16, their best finish that they've achieved back in 2014. The AFCON winners of 1990 and 2019, winning themselves a goal kick on this near side as the ball just drifts out of play. As Van de Ven couldn't keep it in, trying to look for the cross from the byline. But they themselves have got Argentina on the 17th, which is why their next friendly game will take place on the 10th, the day before the World Cup itself gets underway. Whereas the Netherlands, their game will take place 2 days before on the 8th. Algeria will play against Bolivia, who just missed out from that final automatic qualification spot to get themselves to the World Cup. And missed out entirely as well. They themselves have got a friendly against Scotland, who will make the World Cup, and Scottish fans may be a little bit frustrated after seeing Haiti beat New Zealand by 4-0. So I can't see them getting results, and I don't think their fans can see them getting too many results against Brazil. And Haiti was that result that they will be looking at to make sure they get through to the knockout stage for the first time in their history. As Algeria have a throw-in deep inside there. The Netherlands have a throw-in deep inside their own half, away to the right-hand side, in towards Gravenberch, but he's closed down ever so quickly, and a good attempt from Zerouki, but can't quite keep it in as it goes out for a repeat throw-in down on this near side. But for the Netherlands, A nation associated with great teams and near misses. The total football of 74 and 78. Another final in 2010 where they lost out to that Iniesta goal in the final. Spain's only victory in the competition is when they did dominate global football with that tiki-taki style that Pep Guardiola introduced to the world. They won 3 major tournaments in a row. They also won the last Euros as well, beating England 2-1 in the final. Algeria making headway down the left-hand side, but just running into a little bit of danger is Ait Nouri. Picked up, though, by Uar. Tries to work it in towards the left-hand side and find a bit of support alongside Gouiri, but the linesman's flag on this near side just goes up against Gouiri, who just strayed offside. The Olympique Marseille frontman gives Algeria that silky link between the midfield and attack, and he just strayed offside by what looks to be just a hung-out foot behind the Netherlands back line, as the Netherlands controlling the game inside the opening 18 minutes of this contest. 65% possession to 35 in their favour. It's what you would expect from the Netherlands on home soil. The crowd here not making too much noise, but there's plenty of Algerians in as well. Away to the right hand side, they were setting off flares at the start of the game. Something that probably won't be at the World Cup. It is going to come up, especially with how America likes to do their firearms and various other things. There's been a lot of questions asked of the World Cup, not quite of Mexico and of Canada, as a shot comes in from the edge of the box from Gravenberch, but it's straight down the throat of Lucas Zidane, and he just holds onto it rather comfortably. It's a meat and drink for him in the goal in his 7th appearance for the national team. Was scrambling back to his goal when no one was coming in towards Gravenberch, apart from Moura, who was just racing from that far left hand side just to try and put off the Dutchman as it comes back in now towards Marlon, and he can't quite direct it on target, and it goes out for a goal kick. Another good run. Algeria caught out at the back from the ever lively Somerville over on that far side. It was an easy flick on, poor defending from Algeria, couldn't clear the lines, and all of a sudden Somerville was set free down the right hand side, pulled it back across in towards the centre of the box, and after keeping himself onside on this occasion, he couldn't quite. Malen tuck it in to the corner, got his feet completely wrong, and he really should have made it 1-0 to the Netherlands. He hit the post earlier on in the game, and on that occasion couldn't test Zidane in the goal, but really should have done better. Mahrez in the centre circle, just forced back inside his own half. Finds a little bit of support with Bentaleb. Trying to pick out an option, pulls it back in towards Mahrez again. Crowded by 4 Netherlands players, but he finds a little bit of space towards the left-hand side, tries to dink it back in towards the middle, but runs into the crowd of Gravenberch. And now Netherlands have an attack. It's 2-on-2. Gakpo down the right-hand side, goes for goal and forces a fine save out of Lucas Zidane away to his left-hand side. And the keeper's getting busier and busier as this game starts to go on in these early stages. 20 minutes gone. It's a corner kick to the Netherlands, and it's poor again from Algeria. Scrambling back, the defenders facing the wrong way, allowing Gakpo to run on to him. It was Mandy, the man, who was retreating back towards his own goal line, following a bit Van Dijk-esque that he's been doing for Liverpool during the season, just sitting further and further back. But Lucas Zidane meeting the shot ever so well away to his left-hand side. The corner comes in and it can't quite find anybody and falls kindly in towards Zidane. In the goal was, it was just begging for somebody in an orange shirt just to get onto the end of that one. It's Algeria moving the ball again towards the left-hand side, just trying to work their way at this Netherlands defence and just open it up a little bit. They have nothing really to lose in this game, but both sides don't want to come out of this with any injuries. No player wants to miss out on a World Cup opportunity, in Algeria have a corner kick, the first of the afternoon, of the evening I should say. It's 9:10 local time as the sun has just started to set in the background, and Algeria hoping to find a little bit of a spark in front of their home fans away to the right hand side. They've brought plenty of fans to this game, Algeria, to send their side off as they would like to see. 5 inside the box. They go short towards the corner of the area. Whip left foot towards the far side, but it's met ever so well, looking for Ouar, and is then flicked away by Reinders, who goes down, just holding the back of his head. Don't think there was too much in it from Ouar, and the referee hasn't questioned it either, and the throw-in will go Algeria's way, but for the time being, he will just halt play. Let's see if Reinders needs a little bit of support, and it was just as Reinders went for the header, his momentum followed him through. Ouar was behind him. He wasn't putting in a challenge. The Netherlands box, and coaches inside the dugout on this near side, still having a bit of a question with the fourth official, just to ask if there was anything in that, but I think the referee, the Austrian on this occasion, has got that completely right. As DR Congo and Denmark 0-0, 8 minutes into the second half. Albania-Israel also playing 6 minutes into the second half, that's 0-0 as well. And 21 minutes into the first half, Poland and Nigeria is 0-0, as is Luxembourg-Italy. So not too many exciting friendly games. They all seem to happen over the last couple of days or so. The day before last, Erling Haaland and Norway, a result over their nearest and dearest rivals, Sweden 3-1. Isak did get a goal for Sweden, but 2 Larsen goals and a Nusa goal was enough for Norway to pull out a result there. Austria also beat Tunisia. And there are also a couple of fixtures taking place later this evening, but also in various leagues as well. The Copa Argentina also taking place this afternoon. The Euro Under-17 qualifications taking place between Latvia and Albania Under-17s. The final 4 will be going against each other as well in the Euro Under-17s World Cup. And in the friendly games, there's nothing to shout about at the moment. Algeria just send it forward from left to right, but just goes past everybody and into Verbruggen inside his box. Halfway then inside this first half, over halfway, 24 minutes gone, and it's still 0-0 between these sides. There's also a friendly game between the Portugal and Northern Ireland under-21s, with Portugal leading by 2-0. How they'll fare in the World Cup is certainly questionable. They have a wonderful attacking side with Neves, Vitinha, João Felix and Bruno Fernandes. But personally, I think they're burdened by the continuation of Cristiano Ronaldo not hanging up the international boots just yet, as he goes in search of his 1,000th goal, although plenty of them have been in the Saudi Arabian League, similar to what Pele used to do, just stat pad and add a couple of goals to get to the one he would like to. As the Netherlands come down the right hand side with a shot that comes in, and Zidane just gets a strong hand away to his left hand side, with Reinders having a pop and forces another corner kick to those in orange over on the far side. And the Netherlands, a little bit of slow play, Somerville providing a bit more of a spark, sending Reinders free down the right hand side behind the back line, and just couldn't quite tuck it past Zidane on the near side. Gakpo was shouting for it over on the far side, frustrated he didn't receive the pass, but a good save from Zidane, just nonchalantly holding out that left hand to stop the Netherlands from going ahead as the corner comes in, but it's well defended by Algeria and sent out for a throw halfway inside their own half to the Netherlands, who will retreat back and will take their time to take the throw in over on the far side of the pitch. And I don't know if Cristiano Ronaldo would have been involved in this World Cup had Lionel Messi not won the last World Cup. He tried to play it off in a number of interviews, saying the World Cup's just a 6-7 game tournament. I didn't mean to say 6-7 for those that actually are listening. Apologies if you do have kids that are listening and now going a little bit crazy. But Ronaldo, I think personally, burdens that wonderful Portuguese side. Without him, they seem to have an excellent formidability about them. We saw that after he was sent off against the Republic of Ireland when they lost in the qualifier. And then the following game, they absolutely battered the team that they played. Without Ronaldo, they are just a free-flowing side as Algeria loft the ball over and try and get Mahrez in behind the back line. He's not quite got the legs he wants to, but he's taken it down. Plays a nice ball in through the back line, and Algeria, oh, they've missed a golden opportunity, but good defensive work from the Netherlands to get themselves back. It was good work to get the ball over the top in towards Mahrez. He doesn't have the legs that he once did, but his first touch was beautiful from his head. Just brought it back, laid it down into the left-hand side, and Moura got himself behind the back line, fed him beautifully from Mahrez, but he just couldn't quite get the second touch right. It was an excellent recovery tackle coming from Van Heck just to put him off, and it just went whiskers wide of the left-hand post of Verbruggen's goal as it took a deflection from Van Heck on the way through. Excellent defending from the Brighton and Hove Albion centre-half as Algeria take the corner kick. Left-footed one towards the far side. It looked like it may have come off a hand inside the box, but the referee not having any appeals as the volley comes from the edge of the box, and it's a fine effort from Bentaleb, but right down the throat of Verbruggen. And if that had gone anywhere else, that would likely have seen the net ripple. Van Dijk got the header out from the corner. It was hit absolutely as sweet as you like from Bentaleb. It's one of those that if you say he just mishits it just a touch and it goes either side, the keeper would have been rooted to the spot. The Netherlands again trying to get down the left-hand side. For a friendly game, there's certainly plenty of attacking from both of these two sides. 17 minutes to go before half-time, and it's good defensive work again this time from Algeria's. Malen is just forced to concede. And he'll have a throw-in as well with Van de Ven, who comes across to take it. Calling for it short is De Jong. Instead goes down the left-hand channel straight in towards Reinders. It looked like he might have committed a foul on Bentaleb, but the referee happy with it, and then the cross from Reinders. Not to the quality that we have seen this season and previously for Manchester City as it goes straight out and onto the roof of the net. As it's still 0-0. 15 minutes then to go before half-time. Nigeria get the first goal of the evening. Kickoffs leading against Poland by a goal to 0. Two sides that won't be making it to the World Cup as Algeria almost give it away on the edge of their own penalty area, but just about scramble it towards Van Dijk on the edge of the centre circle. He sends a lovely ball out towards the on the left-hand side, but just runs into plenty of danger. And that danger is Mahrez, who just stuck with him. He tried to pinch his pocket, did get a foot in. But the Netherlands will have the throw-in halfway inside the Algeria half. Algeria will be returning to the World Cup after missing out on the 2018 and 2022. It just gives this friendly a genuine World Cup revival angle for them. They know what they would love to do in this World Cup. They'd just love to see their side win a game on the big stage. But in the first ever meeting between these two nations, it hasn't been a disappointing affair despite the scoreline being 0-0. As Algeria have the ball on the left-hand corner of their own penalty area. Running into a little bit of traffic over on that far side is Ait Nouri. Managed to scramble back and just has to find a bit of support, but there's Malen just to close down the Algeria defender, and it goes out for a throw into those in orange over on the far side of the pitch. Taken quickly and in towards the middle towards De Jong. He loses out on the ball as well, and then the ball sent in towards Lucas Zidane, who just asked the referee if he is able to pick it up as Malen tries to close him down quickly, unaware. The goalkeeper was unsure if it was a back pass or not. Sends it in towards Mandy. Across towards his centre-half partner of Bilade. Just holding on to the ball and just being patient with it. Back across towards Mandy, who has to go back towards the goalkeeper Zidane. The runners now start to move forward for the Netherlands as the pass works in towards Bentaleb, who has to go back again towards Mandy. And Algeria just pass it around between them in the back line for the time being here at the Stadion Feyenoord in De Kuip in Rotterdam. The port city in the Netherlands where all the ships do come in. I did once get an overnight ferry from Hull in England, which we won't talk too much about. It's not that great. In towards Rotterdam. It was in January as well, and the North Sea is very unforgivable as the rain starts to come down a little bit more intensively, I should say, here in Rotterdam. It's not sending either of these two sides off with a little bit of sunshine. It's a little bit of rain, but when they do get to America, they'll find themselves in the heat and the summer. They've also games in Mexico and Canada. Those two nations have had no issues in preparation for this World Cup. America has had all of the attention. Both Mexico and the USA have hosted it before. Somerville races down the right-hand side. He's going to win a corner kick. Two defenders coming across to try and do the work, and Belaid and Nori doubled up on Somerville, who's having an excellent first half in this game, but can't stop the West Ham man from winning a corner kick. Over on that far side, and the reinforcements will start to make their way up the pitch with the big men Van Heck, Van der Ven and Van Dijk making their way up into a little trio on the penalty spot. The referee just asking just for a bit of separation between the players. There's a little bit of pushing and shoving just going on between Van Heck and Mandy inside the penalty area. And the referee hasn't had too much to do so far. The third corner of the evening for the Dutch side. Sent in from the far side towards the penalty spot, looking for Van Heck. Excellent defending towards the edge of the area, but it's not quite clear just yet for those in white, and it is now towards the halfway line. Somerville picks up the ball and just retreats again back towards De Jong inside his own half, but there's nobody high up the field for Algeria to put a little bit of pressure on. So the Netherlands will come again. This time down the right-hand side, but it's given away once more over on that far side of the pitch, and then the free kick also goes the way of Algeria. And it was Reinders who got himself in a bit of a muddle on the far side of the pitch. Nori did brilliantly to win the ball back. He sent it through the legs of Afa. Algeria winning the free kick, but taking it short and going immediately back towards their keeper, Luka Zidane. And it's the type of football that they're likely going to have to play during the World Cup against some of the sides they may struggle against. Argentina is the main one. Austria, they might put up an excellent fight. Algeria in that game, and they could come out with a win from it. Jordan, they would be expected to come away with a win from. But these two sides they know what they want to achieve. Netherlands, who dropped down below Morocco in the FIFA rankings because of Morocco's African Cup of Nations being given to them via email, which puts them 8th in the rankings. For Algeria, they currently sit in 28th place, which is just behind Australia and Korea Republic, but they're over on the left-hand side. Still quite high up in the rankings, above the likes of Egypt, the host Canada, above the likes of Erling Haaland's Norway, Poland, Sweden, Czechia, so they certainly will fancy themselves against the likes of Jordan, who are 63rd in the rankings, and Austria 23rd as well, just ahead of them. So they'll certainly give it a good go. If you wanted to know who was number one, it is France, who were just ahead of Spain and Argentina by 3 points in total. England then a further 50 behind, and then a further 60 behind is Portugal. But here come the Netherlands on the left-hand side with De Jong, just trying to stretch his legs. 8.5 minutes to go before half-time. Still 0-0 between these two sides in this friendly game. Both have another game before the World Cup does get underway. in a little over a week's time now. The opening fixture is the exact same as the 2010 World Cup. Mexico against South Africa. This time, though, it's Mexico who will be the home side at the Mexico City Stadium, the Azteca. A beautiful, wonderful ground, holds over 100,000, and that will be a game with plenty of noise and atmosphere. Of the three hosts, Mexico will certainly be the loudest of the three, and I know England fans have been looking about their trajectory if they were to win their group. A quarter-final for them could be against Mexico in Mexico, which at that stage would be absolutely terrifying for a side that hasn't got over the line in exactly 60 years. But here's Algeria on the ball, how they would just like to put themselves a little bit of confidence. The rain continues to just hammer its way down as a couple of fans just try and scramble for a bit of cover. You have plastic tarpaulins just covering themselves at the moment. Those raincoats that you get at theme parks before you go on the water rides. As it's worked back towards Zidane, halfway inside his own half. Plays it across towards Mandy on the right-hand side. It goes back towards Zidane. He's got to scramble towards the edge of his box. His first touch wasn't the most confident from the French-born goalkeeper, son of Zinedine Zidane. But I'm sure the Champions League giant, three-time Champions League winning manager with Real Madrid in a row, we should add, will be following his son's journey. Pretty sure he'll be hoping that France do better than Algeria, but he will be an extra fan when his son certainly plays as the Netherlands win a free kick. Take it short towards the right-hand side. Beautiful ball from right to left in towards Gakpo. Excellent first touch. Pulls it back onto his right on the left-hand corner of the area. Runs into a little bit of traffic. Mahrez is one of them. Finds De Jong. Floats it towards the far side of the box. Not quite cleared inside the 6-yard box. Now it's just about got away towards the edge of the penalty area and picked up by De Jong. Down the left-hand side once more. As the game being controlled by the Netherlands. Back in towards that corner of uncertainty, but Zidane this time gets himself down to his right-hand side. It almost found its way past the goalkeeper's near right-hand post. He just took, I think, either a wicket deflection or had a bit of a curve on it as it was going from left to right inside the box from Van der Ven. But the goalkeeper, Zidane, just didn't quite get hold of it on his first attempt, and then the second dived on top of the ball. And for the keeper, he had to be alert on that occasion. As it's back with Van Dijk on the halfway line. 5 minutes to go before half-time. All the other games that we were talking about still 0-0 in the second half between DR Congo and Denmark, Albania and Israel. The games in the first half, Luxembourg, Italy 0-0 as well. It'd be a great achievement for Luxembourg to come out of that with a draw, even if it is just a friendly game. And Nigeria beating Poland with the only goal of the evening so far, leading by a goal to nil. But we should add that Luxembourg are on a 2-game winning streak after beating Malta twice on aggregate in the Nations League playoff. But before that, they haven't won since the 26th of March, losing 9 games in a row, including 2 against Northern Ireland, 2 against Slovakia, 2 against Germany. But they did put up a good effort against Germany. They lost 4-0 on the road and just 2-0 at home in that game. And it took 2 second-half Walter Marder goals to give Germany the victory in that contest. Is coming again down the right-hand side is Malan, but he just can't quite, Gakpo just can't quite get the cross back in towards Malan as Zidane cuts it out and tries to get it underway quickly once again towards Mahrez. Flick back in towards the middle. Excellent first touch, and now Algeria tried to attack, but just stolen off his own man on the near side by Amora, just pinches it off. Who looked a little bit frustrated in his teammate, but that is what these friendly games are for, is to find out how to work alongside your team before the tournament, to make those mistakes now rather than in the World Cup. As De Jong halfway inside the Algeria half just gets a little bit of a shove by Uwar. The referee plays advantage. Play back in towards Milan. Again, just can't quite get his feet right, and Zidane will just pick up the loose ball. It's good defending as well from the Algeria centre-half. Bentaleb, who was the man that got back, just getting across his own goal line, kept with the runner of Milan, who's making excellent runs in towards the area, but just can't quite find that clinical touch at the end, with 3 minutes then to go before half-time. Still 0-0 between these two sides, as it's over on the left for Ait Nouri. Brings it back in towards the middle to Bentaleb, and then Mandy. Coming to try and get hold of the ball is Zarouki, who hasn't had too much of it inside this first half. Plays it back to the feet of Bentaleb once more. Locks up and tucks it in towards the centre of the pitch, in towards Bentaleb. Gets it out of his feet quickly and moves it towards the right-hand side. Links up with Abad. Tries to send it down the right-hand channel in towards Uwar, who is covering the pitch really well. Mara sitting just behind him, gets hold of the ball now. Moves it again towards Abada on this right-hand side. Mahrez makes his way forward. The Al Ali man, former Man City player, can't quite find the pass in towards Guiri, who hasn't had really any of the ball in this game. But it's back with Bentaleb, and Algeria, who haven't quite had the possession in this first half. Just trying to get their tails up at the end of the first 45 minutes, but Abada just loses out to the ball. Though it's won back by Zarouki. Tries to luck up and go for the runner coming in from the far side of Amora, but can't quite nail the pass as it's sent down the left-hand side, looking for the run of Milan, who's just going to get the Netherlands further up the pitch, and the Netherlands, who weathered that mini storm that Algeria had in terms of possession, just able to easily win it back, and it felt a little bit too comfortable really for the Netherlands on that occasion. Algeria having the possession, moving it nicely from left to right, but just not able to find the passes down the flanks that they're trying to control. I don't think France have been around for quite some time now, in plenty of countries that is, at least. As Gravenberch sends it straight in towards the hands of Zidane. Gets it out towards the left-hand side. Under a bit of pressure, though, is Zouar on the left-hand corner of his area. Nouri equally under pressure, so just going to put his foot through it, looking to get it towards the halfway line. It's picked up nicely, though, by Van Dijk. Sends it again down the right-hand side, in towards Somerville, who just tries to dance past one, gets past two, and just can't quite get his second touch right, as it's cleared back again towards Van Dijk, who no longer seems to be wearing the armband, unless it has been hidden under his bright orange jersey. It is fluorescent, the kit that this Netherlands side are wearing. I'm not too sure what's brighter, the Netherlands kit or Somerville's bright yellow boots that he's wearing, as he moves it across towards the right-hand side. Picked up by Bifa. Back in towards Van Dijk, halfway inside the Algerian half, right down the middle. Just moving across towards the left-hand side and towards Reinders. Trying to dance and move it again back towards the right. Looking to switch it again towards Van Dijk. Lofted in towards the area towards Milan. Excellent turn down. Can't quite turn and face the goal. Now he does, but he's under pressure from 2 or 3 as he ran into traffic. It was a good first touch inside the box, but he just couldn't quite scramble his way free and face the right way, and the Netherlands still find themselves on the ball. We're over the 45 minutes of this first half. There hasn't been too much stoppages in this first half, so I can't see there being too much time added on. It might be the last attack that the referee will give in the opening 45 minutes, and it will be the last attack as he blows the whistle with no added on time. In the first half that the Netherlands have controlled the possession of and have had the better chances, it goes in 0-0. Milan came the closest, hitting the post from the edge of the box. It was a lovely ball through from Somerville, laid it towards Milan and right down the middle. Should really have found the bottom corner, but found his shot bouncing off the bottom of Luka Zidane's right-hand post. Reinders then had a goal ruled out moments later for offside. Somerville breaking. Looked like he'd just broken the back line with an excellent run after a great ball from Gakpo to find him over on the far side. Put it back across the 6-yard box, and Reinders tucked it away before the linesman's flag on the far side ruled it out for offside. Milan has also had a couple of opportunities, but can't quite get his feet right inside the box despite making a couple of excellent runs. For Algeria, they're trying to probe the flanks down the left and the right. They've won a couple of corners, they haven't done too much with it. It is a traditional friendly game, neither side wanting injuries to go to the World Cup. trying to find themselves and do a little bit of practice and make sure they are all match fit. And at half-time here, it's the Netherlands 0, Algeria. Good evening all and welcome back to the second half here in Rotterdam, where there are plenty of changes being lined up at half time between both of these two sides. They just make their way out for the start of the second half. Jorrel Hato, Memphis Depay, Justin Kluivert and Nathan Ake are four being lined up. And also about to make his way on as well is the goalkeeper Robin Roefs as well, with Bart de Bruggen, who will be departing. So 5 changes will be made at half-time between these two, for the Netherlands at least, as Algeria start to make their way out. So once we do have the confirmation of which players have come off, then I will run you through the starting line. So we do know that Verbruggen has made his way off for the goalkeeper Robin Roefs for his first ever game, the Sunderland goalkeeper. He's called up after a rise in English football, a newer goalkeeper option in the group, and makes his debut here in the second half. Ake will join the back line. We haven't had the confirmation of who has come off at half-time, but I'll try and do some number counting. Algeria look like they have set up with the exact same side for the second half. So we'll get you the confirmations of those players that have made their way off, but we do know that making their way on for the second half is Ake, Kluivert, Depay, Roefs and Hato. Somerville has certainly made his way off. There is a change, in fact, for Algeria. They've made 2 with Tugai and Belgali coming on. In fact, they're going to make 5 changes, make it 6 as the 4th official just brings all of the players off that seem to just make their way straight out for the start of the second half. And again, we'll have to do a little bit of number crunching on this near side to see which players are going to make their way on. So Tugai, Chaibi, Moussa, Hadlan and Belgali all coming on for Algeria. So both sides making a handful of changes at the start of the second half. Something that obviously was to be expected, as both look to try and work out which side might be the best. Van Dijk was the one that's made his way off for Nathan Ake at the back. So the captain has come off for the Netherlands, and he's replaced. Memphis Depay comes on for Gravenberch in the middle. As we are back underway, all those changes have now been brought onto the pitch. I scramble to make the notes, so I will run you through the sides once it has all been confirmed here about who has made their way on. But plenty of changes to be made, and an interesting second half that we will also have between these two sides. It is still 0-0 from that first half, which was an exciting first half. To say it was a 0-0, there were plenty of attempts for Malen. He hit the post. Reinders had a goal ruled out for offside. Malen could have had other opportunities, but just lost his footing on both occasions. Couldn't quite get the shots on target. And up the other end, Algeria tried to get themselves down either flanks. Had the best opportunities. Zamora was set free by Mahrez, but excellent defending from Van Heck to just deny him as it just flicked past and went out for a corner kick. But we're 60 seconds into this second half. The changes all running through as we're 90 seconds in, 0-0. Here's the score line here. Mahrez was one of those players that did make his way off, as well as Mandy for Algeria. just try and add a little bit more attacking intent. They sat quite defensively inside that first half. Did Algeria, as it's on the left-hand side with Amora. Feeds it nicely in towards a substitute, Chaibi. Just tried to work it back towards the edge of the area again. And a nice little shot that comes in, and it just whiskers wide, and it's forced around the post by the substitute goalkeeper, Robin Roofs, who's instantly brought into play. It was Hadlan who moved it across nicely into the fellow substitute, Ibrahim Mazza, who just looked for the bottom left-hand corner. And Roofs wasn't too sure about which direction that was going to go in, and just had to tip it around his post and put it out for a corner kick. And it's the first of the second half for the away side, and their third of the games. It's sent towards a near post, can't quite be flicked on. And it's back in over on the far right hand side. Juniors trying to get themselves down the right, but just run out of space and out of play, and it goes out for a goal kick. So 3 minutes then gone inside the second half. So I just do one final check to make sure we have all the changes that have been made. Both of these two sides here before confirming the teams that we do have. The difficulty of 12 changes being made at the start of the second half. Algeria send it down the left hand side again, looking this time for Amora, but couldn't quite direct it on target. And across came an excellent tackle at the back to put him off and out for the goal. Kicks the Netherlands away to the left hand side. So with those changes, it does mean that Roofs is in goals. We just have a brief stoppage in play. Roofs is in goal. Way for Van Heck, Ake and Hato are the back four. Kluivert, Reinders and De Jong the midfield three, with Depay, Malen and Gakpo the three up front. Sorry, they're the three up front. So Ake, Kluivert, Depay, Hato and Roofs were the players that did make their way on at half-time. Apologies, Gravenbeck. He's still on the pitch. I thought he was making his way off, but it was Gakpo who has found his way off at half-time, and it's Depay who's come on for him on this left-hand side instead. Gravenbeck is still on as Ake just makes his way off to the near side after needing just a little bit of treatment. Mandy and Abada came off for Musa and Belgali at half-time. A couple of changes as well. So Zidane in goal, Belgali, Musa, Hajam, Aïnouri, Mazza, Tugai, Bentaleb, Uar, Chaibi and Gouiri are the second half side for Algeria, as the Netherlands trying to get down the left-hand side with Memphis Depay getting his first touch on the ball. Just a little bit of defensive work and manages to win a corner kick. Did ever so well just to shrug off his man and find the pass down the left-hand channel. And the Netherlands have their fourth corner of the afternoon, as they're still down to 10 men, with Ake, who only came on at half-time, still off the pitch on this near side. There's 5 inside the box wearing orange in this second half, going from left to right. It's 3 minutes to 10 here in Rotterdam, as Ake's still not allowed to come on to the pitch, according to the referee. The corner's taken short, and now he does come on. Depay wins it back, pulled back in towards the area, touchdown towards the edge of the box, towards Reinders with the volley, but it's inches over the top of the bar. And the goalkeeper, Luka Zidane, just outstretching his right hand, hoping to get a touch onto it. He wasn't too sure for a moment in which direction that was going to head into. And it was Uar, apologies, who came off for Chaibi, not Amora. It's one of the difficulties with 12 subs coming on all on at the same time. Just makes it a little bit harder when you're using a bit of pen and paper to note down the teams here in Rotterdam. We're breaking through. Is Milan? Can he get a shot on target this time? No, he drags it wide again. And he's had so many opportunities in this game. He's going to have none better than that. He did excellent to just work it from left to right. Just drew it off his man. Drove down the left-hand side, down the right-hand side, and looked for the bottom right-hand corner of Zidane's goal. Across came the defender, who couldn't quite do enough to put him off on that occasion. It was Belayed, the man who did the job. Put off the attacker there, and Zinedine Belayed, his 10th game for the side, plays for the local side of Kabylie, returns to the Algerian club football, brings that domestic leadership back to this back line. Algeria have just trying to offer a little bit of attacking intent themselves this time down the left-hand side, but they've got a bit of defensive work to do on their own patch. Win it back and win a throw and take it quickly, then it's just given away towards the Netherlands, and a little bit lucky on this near side from Van Heck, who seemed to run in front of the ball, just bounced off his heel, and in doing so turned his man more than anything, and gives the free kick Netherlands' way, as Algeria's way, in the centre of the pitch by just losing out, trying to win it back. Algeria take it quickly. 8 minutes gone in the second half. Still 0-0 on this near side for Chaibi. Whips it across towards the right-hand side. Just can't quite find the man over on the far side of the pitch. It was a long and rangy ball looking towards the opposite end of the pitch. As the Netherlands again have the ball, move it across towards the left-hand side, but given away. And now Algeria are trying to counter-attack down the right-hand side. 2-on-2 inside the box. Can they pull it across? Excellent defending at the back this time from Van Heck. He lost the ball in the middle moments ago, but he does superb defending at the back to deny Algeria what would have looked to be a certain goal had that pass found its man. An excellent ball down the right-hand side, set Algeria free. It was an excellent cross from right to left from Mazza, looking to feed it in towards Chaibi on the left-hand side. With a superb interception from Van Heck, but the attack still isn't over just yet for Algeria. They have to then move back towards the halfway line. They're just sitting just off the far right-hand corner of the penalty area. Just couldn't quite move it into the box. Algeria wearing that all-white strip again for this second half. They've got a number of players that they wish they might have been able to bring to this side that have had to, unfortunately, miss out. The likes of Ismail Benaker, one of the biggest midfield names absent from the squad. Bouenjak, the long-serving forward, also not in the side for Algeria. For the Netherlands, well, they're missing out on the likes of Xavi Simons, who can be a major creative absence, but he hasn't had a very good season with Tottenham Hotspur. And after that early possession that the Netherlands had, Algeria now have got the domination of the ball, where they've just gone over that 50% mark in their favour. Netherlands also without Matthias de Ligt and Stefan de Vries, the two experienced centre-backs not on the plane, going to America, and Jeremy Frimpong, the right back as well, has plenty of abilities. The Netherlands come again, this time down the left-hand side, and it's Gakpo who goes for goal, but can't quite get his shot on target once more, and just going to have to ignore me about who came off at half-time, because everyone around us different names. We'll just keep with who we can see on the pitch for the time being, with Gakpo over on the left-hand side with a shot, but it's going to be a corner kick to the Netherlands on this near side. Tries to play short, look towards the right-hand corner of the area, back towards Justin Kluivert. Can't quite wriggle free, then sends a cross in towards the box. The Bournemouth man, who's had another excellent season with the English club, can't quite get his cross onto a Dutchman inside the box, and that second-generation international. His father, Patrick, was an icon the Oranje striker. Superb in his day. And his son Justin yet to get his first international goal for the Netherlands, but almost wins it on this near side, but Algeria are able to clear the lines, and it's a throw in halfway inside the Netherlands half to the North African side. Sitting right on the cusp of Europe. They've got plenty of quality and plenty of ability in their side. They've got players that play for the likes of Manchester City, Inai Nouri, El Ghali for Verona. Chergui plays in the top flight of the French league for Paris FC. Ben Sabani on the bench plays for Borussia Dortmund. Also had a good season for him. Mandy at Lille. Ben Taleb also at the French side. Boudaoui at Nice. Chaibi from Frankfurt. Mazza from Bayer Leverkusen, and the forwards as well. We've got Moussa, who plays here in Feyenoord. Ouari from Marseille. And Mahrez, who's had an excellent career playing over in Saudi Arabia. So they certainly have a wonderful squad, do Algeria. And it is about providing the return to the World Cup is more than just a qualification story for Petrovic's side. They have Mahrez and Guni and Ouar, but Petkovic has to turn to the attacking talent into a coherent tournament side. But right now in this game, 2/3 into the contest, they're certainly giving a good run for themselves. But it's the Netherlands on the ball, just inside the Algeria half on the right-hand side. Bang inside the centre circle, just moving it down the middle and then across towards the left-hand side, in towards the path of Hato. Can't quite wriggle free and loses the ball out for a throw-in, and Anis Hadj Moussa doing excellent over on that far side. And the Netherlands, whose expectations, it's not just to get out of the group as well for them. Ronald Koeman has been talking in ambitious terms with the Dutch, trying to turn a talented but imperfect squad into a side capable of going deep in North America. The Netherlands have to be in the same group for the Nations League as Germany, Greece and Serbia, who will all certainly give them a good run for their money, but that is something that they won't turn their attention to for now, will Ronald Koeman's men. With the manager being a part of that side that won the Euros back in 1988, Algeria in a free kick 10 yards inside their own half. 60 minutes on the clock then here in Rotterdam. Still 0-0 between these two sides. A lovely lofted ball from left to right offers an attack here for Algeria. Two try to get across. One of those is Gakpo, and the other is Van de Ven, just trying to offer a little bit of defensiveness as it goes back towards the substitute goalkeeper. Robin Roos in the net on his debut. Clears it out higher than Bob Mike, but not too far, and it is picked up in the end from Malen, who sort of comes back and picks it out of the sky. A bit sort of tennis-esque, could just bring that down on her butt and then just play it back where it came from. Van Heck making his way down the right-hand side, a little bit higher up the field than he has been so far in this game. The throw-in goes Vijvers Way. Vijvers Way. Bit of a tongue twister as Van Heck, back where he belongs, gives the ball away over on the far side and offers a chance for Moussa to pick up the loose ball, but just couldn't quite get hold of it in a timely manner and has to go back to his centre-half partners in Moussa and Hajam, just to look to then go long towards the edge of the area, looking for the run of Amoura. Had the best opportunity inside the first half for Algeria, given away though with Netherlands able to attack this time down the right-hand side. Can there be a goal inside this friendly game? I think the fans that have certainly come out this evening will be hoping for one, as Milan almost sent in by Reinders. He did everything right apart from the final pass. It's almost then picked up again on this near right-hand side from Kluivert, but he just can't quite get his foot, and Algeria just put the ball out in hope, more than expectation, into the crowd on the near side. Netherlands have the throw-in level with the edge of their own penalty area. Play quickly back in towards Reinders. Now in towards Depay in the centre of the pitch. Squirms and moves it across towards the left-hand side, in towards Kluivert again. Back in towards Reinders. In towards the middle. Shot then comes in from Kluivert, and it's a fine save once again from Lucas Zidane. And it's still in play, pushed towards the right-hand side. And the follow-up shot comes in from Gakpo, and it takes a wicked deflection and out for a goal kick over down the left-hand side as the Netherlands are attacking. And Luka Zidane has pulled out a couple of great saves in this game. And he's got another one there as Kluivert just opened his body up on his right-hand side. He got himself ahead of Zinedine Belaid. And Zinedine Zidane's son, Luka Zidane, matching the shot with a fine save and just pushing it out towards the right-hand side. And the corner that's played in by Depay is a poor one. And goes straight out for a goal kick as Ronald Koeman looks to make a couple more changes to his side. A little bit of smoke just starts to fill the air as there is going to be another change for Algeria. Gouiri makes his way off, and Ben Bouali will come on for his 33rd appearance. For Algeria, yet to get a goal to his name for the national team. But he certainly has plenty of ability. Plays for ETO FC Győr. He's a physically attacking option whose route into the squad has been less than conventional. But he won't mind. He'll be going to the World Cup for the first time this summer, as will the majority of these players. There's only a handful, if less than that, who made it to the last World Cup back in 2014 when they reached the round of 16. One of those was Icy Mandy. His 117th appearance, taken off at half-time. The Lille man, Algeria's record cap holder and survivor from that World Cup campaign. Malen with the header, trying to look for the run of Hato down the left-hand side, but good keeping from Zidane just to come out and claim it and stop any attack. And now Algeria try their own attack, this time down the right-hand side. Two runners coming across towards the left. Instead it comes in towards the middle, and it's a poor pass really from Algeria, but they've won it back and given away again. And it was poor really from their perspective. Over on that far side of the pitch, it was Moussa the man who picked up the loose ball. Started driving at the Dutch defence, tried to get a pass back across towards the edge of the area, failed on the first time, received the ball back, but then couldn't quite get his next touch right and feed it in towards Chaibi, who was also coming in. And there looks to be a couple more changes that may be made by both sides coming up in a moment. So I'll try and keep you updated as best we can with the amount of players that are coming off in these games. It is friendly games, as it is to be expected. Warm up to the big event that is coming up. Netherlands will play against Uzbekistan in their next warm-up game. And for Algeria, they've got Bolivares. It's down the left-hand side again for the Netherlands, just trying to get behind. The back line is Kluivert, but he can't quite get his shot on target as it goes out for a goal kick. He did ever so well just to find that extra gear. Race behind the Algeria back line, but good defensive work in the end, coming across from Tougai, the Esperance Tunis man. He's got CAF Champions League pedigree with Esperance. He's got that tournament ability within him. And just showing excellent defensive work there, just to put off the Dutch attacker from finding the back of the net. With 25 minutes to go in this game, still 0-0 between these two sides. Algeria with the ball, just trying to creep inside the Netherlands half away to our left-hand side. In the other games going on this evening, Italy are leading against Luxembourg by 1-0 in that friendly game, 4 minutes after half-time. Esposito, the Serie A man, giving Italy the lead. Poland equalised against Nigeria 1-1 in that game. Israel beat Albania 1-0, and DR Congo and Denmark drew 0-0. DR Congo, who will be at the World Cup this summer. They'll be there first ever. They'll play Portugal, Colombia and Uzbekistan after beating Jamaica in what wasn't a great contest to watch. I was over in America at the time just finished watching the space launch of the Artemis 2, which was incredible to then watch DR Congo beat Jamaica. And I was surrounded by plenty of Jamaican fans, not too far from where we were staying in Florida is Jamaica. And they were wholly disappointed in their side's performance. Former manager of Jamaica, Steve McLaren, has actually just become the director of football at the team I support of Rotherham United. We don't have a manager, only have 9 players at the end of the season so far. After a relegation, it's not going to go too well, as Milan's almost set free inside the box, but good defending again from Algeria just to clear their lines. 22 minutes to go, another 4 substitutes will be brought on by the Netherlands as they just start to line up the changes on this near side. As Coop Miners will look to bring his way on. Coming off is Frankie de Jong, the Barcelona man. He's metronomic in that middle, always keeps on ticking over. Also coming on will be Luciano Gertrude, another man playing for Sunderland, Rotterdam-born, playing on his own patch. Merlin making his way off. Can't quite add to the 13 goals he's got for the national side this evening. Really should have done better. Reinders also making his way off for the Dutch side, and Vijver as well. So Van Heck is the only man from the start. So Van Heck and Gakpo, the only 2 from the starting 11 to still remain on the pitch. There's 9 changes that have been made, and there will also be one for Algeria as well, as Mohamed Amoura now does make his way off, the Wolfsburg man, and he comes off for Adil Boulbini, who's got 6 in 10 for the national side, plays for Al Duhail. Scored a dramatic AFCON knockout goal, making him a lively impact option with 20 minutes to go. But also coming on, Quinton Timber, the Olympique Marseille man, twin brother of Jurien Timber, who lost the Champions League final with Arsenal just last week. Gives the midfield plenty of energy and power. Coop Miners as well, the Juventus midfielder, left-footed set-piece specialist, former AZ Alkmaar captain in the Netherlands, offering a bit of balance. Gertrude, the Sunderland man, and also Martin de Roon, making his 43rd appearance, the Atlanta veteran organiser and Europa League winner with the Italian side, valued for control rather than headlines, makes his way on. So a near enough full change in this Dutch squad now from the side. It started the first half. There's 2 players remain for Algeria. We just have 3 from the side that started the original 11. Zidane in the goal, Belaid at the back, and Bentaleb in the midfield as well. So getting some fresh legs on, getting a bit of energy between these 2 sides, but it does feel like those changes that were made at half-time, and plenty of them, and then the handfuls that have been made since from both sides have just killed any momentum that this game has had. It hasn't been a spectacular second half. Algeria have tried to get themselves forward, offered again a little bit of supply down the wings, but haven't been able to test the goalkeeper Roofs on more than one occasion. Was forced into a save early on in his international career. For Roofs making his debut, how he'd love to keep his clean sheet in his first appearance for the national side. With 18 minutes to go for that to happen. At this stage of the contest, it doesn't look like this game is going to go any other way than a 0-0. It's a nice little flick around the corner. There might be an opportunity then here for the Netherlands down the right-hand side. The substitute Coop Miners tries to open it up, brings it back in towards Van Heck, but can't quite find the pass. Back out towards Coop Miners again on the right-hand side. Pull back in towards Kluivert. Back in central towards Depay, who goes for goal from the edge of the box, but it's blocked and cleared away towards the left-hand side as it trickles out for an Algeria throw as it just comes off. The Dutchman over on the far side laughed at last, and it was Gakpo. Down that left-hand channel, 19 goals he's got in 48 appearances for the national side, the Liverpool man. He scored in every group game at the 2022 World Cup. He remains a big tournament threat. They'll be looking at him during the tournament as the referee just pulls it back as he gives a free kick. Netherlands, who just tried to get on with it quickly halfway inside the Algerian half, just hugging the touchline over on the far side, but the referee, the Austrian, just pulling it back. And just asking for the Netherlands to start again there, Jacob Semler. And they've immediately done that and given the ball away. Now Algeria attacking down the right side, looking for the overlap, but good defending over on the far side by the Dutch side. Then pulled towards the left-hand side. Opportunity to try and wriggle free and work a little bit of space for Bulbini. Can't quite find that. Pulls back in towards Chaibi on this near side. Linking then in towards Hadja. Still on the left-hand corner of the area. Gets us a ball back in towards Bulbini on the left-hand side. He's got a little bit of traffic and a couple of players in front of him, so has to retreat back a couple of yards and find a little bit of support, but in doing so it takes a deflection on the way through, and it's either the Netherlands to pick up the ball. A horrible touch at the back from the goalkeeper though there by Roofs, almost giving what looked like it could have been a certain goal away. It was played back inside the area towards Roofs. He just tried to move it from the left to the right hand side, and in doing so he invited the Algeria team onto him. He just about kept it in. His clearance out was an absolute shocker into the substitute Gertrude under pressure. And then the tackle comes in on the edge of the box as well, and Algeria will have a free kick with 16 minutes to go. Can they offer something here? Both of these two sides in excellent runs of form over the last couple of months. Netherlands unbeaten in 10. They'll certainly want to go into the World Cup unbeaten and won't want to concede late on here. Algeria have lost 2 in their last 16, including the 2-0 win in the African Cup of Nations against Nigeria in the quarter-final, and losing in the Arab Cup to the UAE as well. Standing over this one is Chaibi, right-footed. There's 3 in the wall. Dinked in towards him on the right-hand side, goes for goal, but it's high, it's wide, and it's not very handsome from the substitute. It was a nicely taken free kick, a good little bit of interchange play between Musa and Chaibi. Musa running over it, feigning to take it himself, just then backheeling it behind him, opening up the angle for Fares Chaibi, looking for his 4th goal for the national team, but the Eintracht Frankfurt man, who's been a creative midfielder in the Bundesliga this season from those wide areas, just couldn't quite keep his shot down and test Roofs a little bit more in the goal, who seemed to have a couple of nerves in the net, which feels like it might cement for Bruggen as the number 1 going into the World Cup, at least for the time being. But everyone, I'm certain, would have nerves making their debut for their national team, making any sort of debut as a professional player. As the Netherlands again try to make their way down the left-hand side. There's a man inside his own box here for Algeria, which doesn't look good. He's gone down off the ball. The referee's happy to allow play on, but he has now stopped it. And looking over to try and see who it is. It is the substitute, Jaouen Hadjam, in his 17th appearance. The young boys man, born in France. The left back who can offer athletic cover behind Ait Nouri. Just goes down unchallenged inside the box. There was a coming together moments before between himself and Coop Miners, who just backed into him. And they're just having a look at what appears to be his left knee, is just below his left knee. But here in Rotterdam, the rain has stopped. It was hammering it down inside that first half. It's rescinded in the second half. And those Algeria fans who were huddling together to try and keep themselves dry are now making the most noise inside this ground. They're packed out away to the right-hand side. They're dotted around all over this stadium. They've come out in huge numbers to support their side. They're bouncing away. They put on a good display against a very good Netherlands side who started today 7th in the world rankings. A draw does drop them down below Morocco, who beat Madagascar by 4-0 last night to climb above them by 0.84 points, as the Netherlands lose just short of 2 in the rankings. So going into the World Cup, it's not what they would want to see in the highest ranking side that isn't going to the World Cup. If you'd like to take a guess, you would be correct. It is Italy, who are leading against Luxembourg. If they want to climb up the rankings, they have to win by more than just 1-0, which they are leading at the moment against Luxembourg with 9 minutes to play. There's 12 minutes to go in this game. There's 17 to go in the game between Poland and Nigeria, which is still 1-1. There's plenty more games that are going to be coming up over the next few days. Sweden and Greece will play tomorrow. Spain and Iraq, France and Ivory Coast. It's what we love to see in these World Cup warm-up games, the most random of fixtures that are played as teams prepare to face different sides of different abilities, because this World Cup offers plenty more sides, and it is a light show here as well. The Algerians have all got their phones out, they're shining them away. The Dutch fans also getting involved as well. What used to be cigarette lighters back in the day is now lights on phones inside the grounds, and I don't know if that's a sign of boredom between the fans. At least they've not started to do the Mexican wave just yet, which is, for me, the worst thing to ever happen in a football ground that fans can decide to do when they are a little bit bored. I should add, plenty of worse things have obviously happened inside football grounds, but when people do get bored, you start to find they have to make up their own entertainment, and that is certainly what we're seeing in the second half of this game after what was quite an interesting first 45 minutes. France and Ivory Coast also play as tomorrow. Mexico, Serbia as well. There's a couple of other rather interesting fixtures: Iran, Mali, Kenya, Lesotho, Cameroon, Bhutan. Czechia against Guatemala takes place later in the evening, as South Korea, El Salvador, Panama, Dominican Republic, Maldives against Pakistan. Great fixtures. But if you are, like me, a bit of a football nut, I enjoy any sort of football, and I won't have anybody say they're not looking forward to the World Cup because they don't want to see the likes of Algeria against Jordan, or Scotland against Haiti, or Germany against Curacao. Those are the games we absolutely want to see. We want to see all teams of all abilities at the World Cup, the pure passion that you get out of the fans. Hopefully plenty of fans have made the journey across for the World Cup. There's been issues with tickets and hotels. FIFA have given all their packages back to the hotels, which now seems to be a shortfall. The ticket prices was certainly an issue, being extortionate to start with. Went to quite a few tournaments back in my younger days. I'm only 33, I will add, but went to the Brazil World Cup, where you could get tickets for $10, $20 they were at the time. Not too many reais. When you were in Brazil, if you wanted to pick up another game, if you're an England game, you could get them for £50, £60. It was brilliant to watch. It added so much value, and everybody came out from across the world to those tournaments. The same in the European competitions. What we see in AFCON is the tickets being of really good value. But in this World Cup, being in America, we're seeing an American approach to the World Cup, and we're seeing hiked prices. Well, we are starting to see them come down. So if you do fancy a last-minute journey, you will find you'll probably be able to get tickets for any game very late on, as the Netherlands, with 9 minutes to go, will make another change. And Gakpo will now make his way off as the 10th change of the evening. And on in his place will be Wout Weghorst. So off comes Gakpo, and on comes the Ajax man. 14 goals in 51 appearances for the national team. Forever tied for that dramatic late Dutchies equaliser against Argentina in Qatar 2022, before Argentina went on to win that game and then the World Cup itself. The other players that haven't been brought on are Mark Flecken, another experienced goalkeeper. He's at Bayer Leverkusen, formerly of Brentford. As Weghorst is putting plenty of pressure on Zidane away to the right hand side, but just managed to get the ball away and just push it across. And Ian Maatsen, the Aston Villa man who's got 1-in-1 for the national side, Brian Broby, Noah Lang, the Galatasaray man, former Napoli player, played for both this season. Quite a big personality. One of the reasons he has moved to Galatasaray, and Gus Till as well. As here come Algeria, just trying to take a shot from the edge of the area, and it was a good attempt from Ben Bouali, but takes a wicked deflection off Van Heck, who is the last remaining man that started this game, who is going to continue in that back line for the Netherlands. He's been brilliant, as Nathan Aki, I thought, was just going down with a slight injury for a moment, but he's just tying up his shoelaces. The man that now wears the armband for the Netherlands after those plenty of changes. Another game that's going on tomorrow is Lebanon against Yemen in the Asia Cup qualifiers. It's the third round in Group B of that tournament, to which they share it with Bhutan and Brunei. And I might give that a little bit of a watch once I have finished work. But here comes Van Heck once again down the right hand side, just trying to find the pass, but good defensive work again from Algeria. And it's been really the sign of this second half, is both sides have struggled to attack, but when one has, it's been excellent defending from the other team. And it's the Netherlands on the ball once again. 7 minutes to go then in this game. 3 to go between Italy and Luxembourg, and it's still 1-0 to the Italians. Played in towards the area, but knocked down and cleared away on this near side by Bulbini. In towards Depay, who goes for goal, but couldn't quite get a good enough connection onto it. It was an excellent ball in towards the box from the left-hand side. Ben Bouali with the knockdown, and Depay just couldn't quite get the angle on it right, and looked for the bottom right-hand corner, but Lucas Zidane did ever so well just to get himself down to his right-hand side. And Algeria have had 3 attempts in this game, 1 on target, 2 off target. The Netherlands 10, 5 apiece. It's been split really 50-50 between the possessions. 6 corners to 3 in the Netherlands' favour. Hasn't been an offside in this game since 15th minute, when we've seen plenty in those opening stages of this contest. The long ball goes forward towards the Algerian front man of Ben Bouali. Loses out on the ball, and it's worked back again towards the left-hand side for the Dutch team, with Aki inside the centre circle. 5.5 minutes to go in this game. Moved across towards Gertruda in his 21st appearance for the national team. Was hugging this touchline. Back again towards his centre-half partner of Van Heck. Links up with Nathan Aki. Continues it across towards the left-hand side, and Aki in his 59th appearance, the Man City man. 2 more trophies to his name this season. Just comes back inside his own half, and any momentum that was really there from the first half has disappeared entirely in this second half with 5 minutes to go. But can either side find a way through to find a late winner here? Both sides will want to go to the World Cup without anything drastic happening beforehand. Algeria will certainly be the happiest coming out of this game. The Netherlands put up a good show for themselves in the opening stages of the first half, but since then haven't really been able to do enough to challenge Lucas Zidane in this second half. That Depay shot moments ago was really the best opportunity, but he didn't quite connect onto it. It was a half chance more than anything. But here come Algeria over on the far side, looking to maybe punish the Netherlands on the right hand side. Cut back in, and they have punished them late on, and it's a superb goal, and it's the substitute Anis Haj Musa with his first ever goal for Algeria, and the Feyenoord man has set the Algerian fans into raptures away to the right hand side, and the Netherlands, who haven't looked great in this second half, just sat back and invited Musa onto them down the right hand side. He tucked it back into the right corner of the area, onto his left, and just sends it into the far corner of the goal. And Algeria lead with 4 minutes to go in a friendly game in a World Cup warm-up match, and they lead on the road. It's the Netherlands 0, Algeria 1, and it's a beautiful goal. And if it was going to be anything that livened up this game, it was going to have to be a piece of magic. And Musa did ever so well, just a tuck in on the near side. He got on the right side of Hato. He continued to drive to open up the angle, and with that trusty left boot, just put it beautifully into the far right-hand corner of Robin Roof's goal. The man making his debut for the Netherlands, not able to keep a clean sheet, but at the other end, Musa getting his first ever goal. He's back at the quick as a Feyenoord player. It's a friendly with a local twist for him on the ground that local fans will know him well from. I did see some giving him a rude hand gesture, so they're not quite as happy about seeing him back on the home soil. As a final change is made for the Netherlands, the 11th and final change, with Van Heck coming off for Brian Broby. Another Sunderland man in this side, one of 3 Sunderland players in the Netherlands side. What a turnout they've had as Algeria tried to break away down the left-hand side once again, but a late challenge goes in on Gertruda, who goes down under a bit of pressure. With 2.5 minutes to go, Algeria are much happier in this, as smiles on the faces of the African side, and the fans are making plenty of noise. Ronald Koeman won't be too happy what he's seen from his side in this second half. We can never make too many judgments about how sides are going to go in the World Cup based on friendlies. As we've said, Netherlands have made 11 changes in this game. Algeria themselves have made 8 changes themselves from the side that started the contest. But the Algerian fans away to the right-hand side are making plenty of noise. It's attacking though with Depay, pulls it in towards the air, but the free kick goes Algeria's way, and the fans behind the goal, who've been setting off flares since that goal went in, are crowded in and around plenty of smoke. Nigeria lead against Poland by 2-1 in that game. Poluski equalised just on half-time after Moffi gave them the lead. But 5 minutes ago, Unachu from the penalty spot, giving Nigeria a 2-1 lead against the European side, and it's the African side leading here on the road against the Netherlands. It's the first ever meeting between these two sides, and I'm not sure the Dutch thought it was going to go this way. 60 seconds then to go before we find out how much time will be added on by the referee, and may add some time on. There was a brief stoppage in play during the game, and there's been plenty of substitutes as well, which have delayed the game even more. So there may be a couple of minutes added on in this contest, but it is also a friendly game, so we will wait and see. But here come Algeria to maybe see this game completely out. It's a lovely ball back in towards the boxes, defended ever so well, looking for Ben Bouali on the right-hand corner of the 6-yard box, and it was a superb run once again from Musa down that right-hand side, who's been excellent since he has come on down that right-hand channel. Coming again down the left-hand side is Algeria once more, trying to feed it in towards the runner of Ben Bouali once more, Boulbini, who's been lively again since he's come on. As some of the Dutch fans just start to make their way out. We're coming up to the 90th minute on the clock. Algeria lead by a 0-0, and they've been really good in this game. They started ever so slowly, but as time's gone on, they got themselves in the game. At one point they were just had 35% possession. 4 minutes have been added on for the Netherlands to try and find an equaliser, for Algeria to hang on late on in this contest. It's one of 2 games that these two sides will play before they play in the World Cup. Algeria have Bolivia next. The Netherlands have Uzbekistan, and if the Netherlands don't pick up a result against Uzbekistan, then questions really might be asked about how far this Netherlands team can go. But as we always say for club football, before the start of a season, you never rely on friendly games. It's all about getting to know each other, adapting your play, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. And on this occasion, it's Algeria getting the better of the Netherlands. But a pop shot goes in from the edge of the box from the Netherlands, but blocked by the first man, and out for a throw-in over on the far side. And it was Hato who got himself forward. Back on the ball again, looking to put a cross in towards the area. Can't quite find his man. It's cleared out again by those in white, sending it in towards the Netherlands half, and tracking back is Gertruda under plenty of pressure from Boulbini, who just couldn't quite get the right side of the Dutch defender, who did ever so well to just push him off the ball. Boulbini there, he showed his strength in the back for the Dutch and worked it back towards Roos in the goal. The Dutch players on the bench aren't too happy with how this game is going. Not too many smiles in the Dutch camp before they make their way across towards North America, but they could get a little bit happier for them here. But a poor first touch from Broby gives the ball away. Algeria come away with it. 2 minutes to go of the 4 minutes added on at the end of this game, and they'll win a throw-in halfway inside the Netherlands half, and they're in no rush whatsoever to get on with the remainder of this contest. The Algerian fans sitting behind, they've got the phones out, they've got their flags out, they're bouncing away. They're going to send their side off to North America with an ovation at the end of this game. It hasn't been a quality friendly contest by any stretch of the imagination. It has offered more than you might suspect the scoreline would have done for how the game was going for the majority of it. But for a friendly match, you can't really complain. They've come this way, they've seen a goal, have the crowd, but Algeria fans will certainly be the happier because they've put up a superb display against a side that are higher up than them. The Netherlands started the day in 7th place in the FIFA rankings. They'll go against Uzbekistan in 8th place. They'll have to beat Uzbekistan by a considerable amount if they want to get back into 7th spot above Morocco, who won 4-0 last night. I'm not too sure that's their biggest worries. The ball comes towards the far side for Algeria, just trying to find a second goal at the end of this game. Men Mouali inside the box, can't quite win it. Cleared out towards the edge of the area, and it is won this time by Bentaleb, but in doing so, the Austrian referee says he's given a free kick away. So there's 50 seconds to go then before for Netherlands to find a late equaliser. Italy beat Luxembourg by a solitary 0-0, thanks to that Esposito goal just at the start of the second half, and we don't really expect too much more from Italy and Luxembourg in those types of games. Italy have done the job and have won by a 0-0. But their players are ready for their summer holidays, I think, more than anything. Whereas these two sets of players are ready for the sun, but they're ready for the North American sun. As the Netherlands send the ball forward, but a free kick's been given to Algeria halfway inside their own half. And the Algerian fans are making plenty of noise now, but they have almost given the ball away to Weghorst in a really dangerous position. He's just going to get sent forward by Zidane. Referee has one look at his watch, has a second look, and there is the end of the game, and it's the Africans who get the better of their European counterparts. It's Netherlands 0, Algeria 1. Netherlands, who are unbeaten in their last 10 games, fall to defeat. Algeria continue their excellent run with just 2 defeats in 17 as they head now to North America. Algeria have Bolivia next, Netherlands have Uzbekistan before they start for real in the World Cup. It looked like it was going to be a good day for the Netherlands. Malen hit the post from the edge of the box. He had plenty of chance inside that first half. Reiners had a goal ruled out for offside after Somerville broke the back line and just strayed a yard or two offside. Marlon then couldn't quite get his feet right and missed 2 golden chances inside the first half. Algeria's best inside the first 45 after providing some attacking down the flanks was Mahrez setting Amora free, but an excellent tackle, last-ditch tackle from Van Heek to get a block in and just see it wide of the left-hand post of Verbruggen's goal. In the second half, it also looked like it sort of it tamed off a little bit, to be fair, in the second half. Depay came closest with a half chance late on for Netherlands, but then Moussa gave us something and a bit of a spark at the end. Driving down the right-hand side, cut back into the left of Hato, opened up the space and put in a beauty of a curled shot into the far right-hand corner for his first ever goal for the national team. Algeria get the better of the Netherlands. They'll be celebrating. The fans here are having a wonderful day to send off their side to North America. Up next, well, they're one away before the World Cup starts in just over a week's time. But here in Rotterdam, it's finished Netherlands 0, Algeria 1.